So for my second year at university, I did a project on, I can't remember what the title was, but it was essentially looking at how the Ret Maryada had been formulated and how it had developed over kind of the 17th to 20th centuries.
Okay.
And I got a really good score on it. So I was like, brilliant, this is fantastic. I think I'm onto something. And then also Ramblings then was, as I was saying all the way at the beginning, was an accident. And why it was an accident was because at university, what had happened was I got there. I went to Royal Holloway, University of London. There wasn't a Sikh society. And they're kind of like a staple of British universities. Like you have all these societies, and Sikh societies are normally quite big. And someone eventually set one up, and they invited like the local Gurdwara Pradhan or whoever. And he came, and as the typical kind of Punjabi thing is, or Sikh thing is it's kind of like, oh yeah, like it's Sikh society, we should just go just to kind of like to show our face or whatever.
Yeah.
So we went, and I was expecting something, considering it was university, I was expecting something kind of like half decent, something that was a little bit better than your usual Punjabi school for kids type lecture, right?
Right. Don't just tell us Sakhis and things like actually something maybe more academic or a little bit substantial. Yeah.
Just something that like a university student is going to sink his teeth into and go, this is juicy.
Right.
And it was the complete opposite. I still remember to this day, it was horrible. It was like, yeah, Sikhs believe in one God. We have 10 gurus. We have 5 Panth. We have Panch Pyare. We have this. And I was just sat there going, oh, just someone put me out of my misery. And at this time as well at university, I was exploring things like Sikhi doesn't even accept, in my opinion, doesn't even accept the Judeo-Christian paradigm of this divine God entity. And the closest thing you could probably get to it is like panentheism and all the rest of it. So just the stuff he was saying, I would love to have engaged with him. But even when I asked questions, it was just really like blunt.
No, I know what you're saying, because in the early 2000s, late 90s, early 2000s, I got involved with a lot of the retreats here, which were camps for college and young professional kids, right? So we would try to organize these things. And now when you're talking to people, you gotta talk differently. Like if someone says, Sikhs believe there is one God. Well, how are you defining God? Because God has a certain image that it conjures when you say the word God, and it's a very Christian image. So now, are you talking about a powerful person? Or, and you got to really dig in and say, what does that actually mean? Now, should we say there is one God? Should we say God is one? Should we even use the word God?
Well, exactly.
So, yeah. I can understand your frustration, because if you're not engaging at the level of your audience, you're just going to turn them away, right? You're going to turn them away from Sikhi, which is the opposite effect of what you want.
So that Sikh Society lecture kind of sparked a fire, and I was like, I have quite a hot temperament, so kind of a little bit of a tangent. I remember in when I was at primary school, so like I don't know, 7 or 8, I used to have anger management classes because I used to get really angry at school, right? So I've been a complete little git throughout my life. So when so I completely lost.
No,
my point.
You were saying that Sikh Society.
So I was just hot. I was just like, all right, I need to do something. What should I do? Like, what can I do? Whatever. Yeah. And I lived with this girl at the time that, again, had attended the Sikh Society, really, really nice woman. And I remember going to her, like, what can I do? What should I do? I'm really kind of upset about this. Perhaps I should kind of get involved with the Sikh Society. And then I was like, don't think that's going to work, because if this is kind of the trajectory they're going, I'm almost like the boogie monster, right?
Right.
So I thought, all right, let me just start a blog. And during the late 2000s, like we're talking now 2010. So at this point, blogs are kind of like the in thing.
Yeah.
To start one now, I don't know whether it would quite work, but again, like that was the plan. So what I did was I just wrote how I felt about the lecture, and all I had done was I just taken notes during the lecture, and I just wrote essentially my critique on it. So I was like,
Okay.
matey says X, Y, and Z. This is why I don't accept X, Y, and Z is correct.
Yeah.
I don't think that blog actually exists anymore. It's that old. And that just kind of slowly started to grow. And then as I was researching during university, I would just kind of share snippets. So that essay I was talking about earlier about kind of tracking and kind of mapping the development of the Death Mirada, I'd post snippets and people seemed to like it. A lot of people also really hated it, but the point wasn't to try and kind of create a definitive definition of this is what a Sikh is or this or that. It was partly, and I guess actually, to be honest, it was probably a lot more to do with, it was just my own journey and I was sharing things as I was going through.